Hey guys, in today's video I'm going to show you the Vevor raised garden bed, so let's open up this box. Here we got the box open, and at first look there comes a pair of gloves that for gardening or assembly. They come with these little mini garden tools and some tags that we'll probably actually use. Here's the trim that goes along the top of the box. Side panels. In one of these panels will be all your hardware. This one right here, it's usually the one with the Vevor stamp on it. And here's our braces for the inside. Here's the instruction book. The first one I made took me about 2 hours. I've made about 10 of them so far, so I'm a little bit quicker. I'll share with you some things I learned along the way that make it easier and quicker. When you first remove all the bubble wrap out of this box, the first 4 panels are going to be for the sides, so we'll take those right out. So with any luck today, that 49-pound cardboard box that I just opened will turn into this. It is an 8x4 raised bed, 2 feet high, has all stainless steel hardware. The panels are galvanized and they come with plastic over top to protect them. I showed you before, it's got this little trim over the top that just keeps sharp edges down. Here's the cross braces to stop it from blowing out once you fill it with soil. So we'll go back inside and we'll put one of these together. Alright, I've got my side panels which say Y14. I've got those set aside, and what I want is Y16. There's 8 of those, so I'm going to pull 4 of them out right now. I've got my 2 panels here on the ground, and I just want to push the top one back a little bit. Alright, it looks like that. The second one's right here. I've got my hardware right here. They're all just wing nuts and just short little bolts right here. And I'll go ahead and put a few in and I'll explain what I did. The easiest thing to do here is to take your bolts and put them in, but leave out bolts in the 3rd hole in from each side, because this is where your cross braces will go later, and you'll be putting a nut and bolt through there. So if you do it now, you'll just have to take them out later. So I'm going to slide the second piece over this and put the wing nuts on. Now, when you set this up the first time, when you're assembling it, there's a rolled piece of steel, and make sure that's facing up. It's kind of hard to see, but there's just a bit of a lip right there. Just make sure that's facing you or facing up. So now we're going to throw our wing nuts on. When you're putting your wing nuts on, just put a bit of down pressure on the steel right here, and that'll just stop the head of the bolt from turning. Give it a spin, just like that, and it's installed. So the next step for ease of install, because the first time I did this I used my hands on all these, and by the time I was done my fingers were so sore tightening all these wing nuts, I've actually gone and got a 7/8 socket, and it fits over top, and that's how I tighten them. Now if you don't want to use this, or if you don't have one of these battery operated ratchets, you can just do the opposite really. Get a Phillips bit, put it in there, and it'll require a different way to build these or construct them, but you can just spin this in and hold this, and it'll save your fingers, or you can use your fingers. But I've chose to do it this way. It's just very fast, very efficient. It takes me about half an hour now to make them, so I'm going to go ahead and tighten all these up. So there's one section built. I've just started another one, and after this I'll do one more, and then I'll have the full 8-foot side built, and then I'll go ahead and make the other 8-foot side built, which is exactly the same as I was showing you. So I'm just going to do that off camera, and then I'll show you what's next. So now that all the side panels are built, the next step is to put on the corner braces, 8 bolts across and 8 wing nuts on top. We'll do that now. So just for ease of installation, I've gone ahead and put 8 of them right in front of every hole. Now I'm just going to take this bracket here, tilt it, and set it right over top, and all 8 are in. Now you want to put those in first because this panel goes over top, and if you bend it in the middle like this and place it in, it should fit inside with no issues, other than lining up a few bolts that are a little bit out of center. And just like that. And we'll go ahead and put 8 wing nuts across there. All right, we got our 8 screws in, and I use this one first. This is the first corner bracket I install, and I put this to my right side, you know, with it looking away from me. And then when I turn it up, it'll be upright, because one of the first ones I built, it was down below, and it drove me nuts, so I took it all apart and switched it. So if you do that, when you tilt it up, it'll look like it should. So now I'm gonna go ahead and put these on all 4, well, 3 remaining sides of my long panels here, and then we'll be back. So something I'll mention before we start is that these panels on the outside have a plastic coating, and it's just to protect them during shipping. I started taking it off when I was making these, and it took really long because it's super adhesive. It's not sticky, but it really grabs onto this metal. But if you take the corner, you can actually peel it off. I'm gonna go too far because I'm not taking it off, but it just, you know, it peels off like this. And that's not what I'm gonna do. If I take it off later, I take it off later, but I'm just leaving it on. It just speeds up the process. I got 40 of these to build, and I don't have time to take the plastic off. All right, we've got 2 long pieces made for our 8-foot sides right here, and both of them have end corner brackets on. Now I'm gonna start making the 4-foot wide pieces out of the Y14, and nothing much different here, except there'll be a bolt and a wing nut in every hole. So we'll do that now, and we'll get these done. So here's the way I've been putting these in. If I haven't shown this already, I'll start with the center 2. I just lift it up, and then I'll work my way out, just lifting up the corner, and I slide it in, set it down, lift it up, slide one in, set it down, and the same thing on the end. Now I slide this panel over, set it over the top, just like that. Now something you might run into is this gap right here, and you don't want that. So take your panel off, the one you just set on, and rotate it. It's flush with the bottom one, and same thing on this side, it's flush with the bottom one. So now I'll go ahead and put my wing nuts on. 2 4-foot end panels built, one there, one there. Now we're gonna start putting this thing together. The first thing I do is stand the 2 ends up like this. Sometimes they'll stand on their own, sometimes they won't. I got lucky with this one. This one I've got leaned up against the flower fridge. But we're gonna take our side panel here, the 4-footer, and connect it on those 8 holes and to those 8 holes. Another monotonous job putting in wing nuts and bolts. So we'll get started on that. So when I connect these 2 sides together, I just like to put one on the top and one on the bottom just to hold it. And then I'll do the same on the other side. All your wing nuts will face the inside of the bed. All right. One on the top, just like that. One on the very bottom, that'll hold it. Now we'll do this side. This side's temporarily installed. So now I'll go and do this side quickly, and then we'll move to the next step. All right, that side's done. This side's done. Really the next step, like I said earlier, is filling in all these holes now. There's 6 there, 6 on each side, so 24 more times. And we'll have this shell complete. Corners are all done. Just so you have an idea of how it looks like. Once again, it's 8 from top to bottom. That one and that one. Now we're going to start installing our braces that go from side to side. Grab 2 of these, slide them out of the plastic. One for the top, one for the bottom. There's 2 pieces in each that you have to connect with a bolt. All right, bear with me, we're almost done. This is one of the end brackets that goes right here. And the panel's a bit curved, so I just take that end and put a bit of curve on it myself. I'll put a bolt through this side. Just get that started. Now I'll go over here and do the same thing. Now I turn these upside down like this just so that there's easier access, but once I have it started I flip it. But we'll do that in a second. Flatten these out like this so they're both flat on either side. Place them over top. I like to put the wing nut on the back side of this one just so it's easier to put on, so you're not trying to squeeze it through this little channel. Now we can flip this around so you can see what I'm talking about. Nut on top. There we have it. Cross brace is in on the bottom, and then we'll just do the same thing right above it. On the third hole down, nut, empty hole. And then there'll be one that goes in the middle, or two actually in the middle, and then two back here. And I'll show you what that looks like when I'm done. All right, so here's how it looks with the braces in. One last step is to put the trim over top of all the edges here to cover up the seams where the panels meet. We'll do that now, and that's it. Here's our big roll trim. Now what I like to do is start on the edge here, and you can see that it fits right over top of the lip like that, but I like to put it under this corner bracket. So I'll just bend this panel down a little bit and push it under, and then that way there it'll actually hold it just like that. And I'll just start going across and pushing it down as I go. And then there's an edge right here where the two pieces meet, so you just have to take a little bit of time to make sure it's over that properly, but it's as simple as that. You just move along and keep pushing it down. I'm going to keep going all the way around until I get to the end. Once I get to the edge here, I'll just cut it a little bit beyond, so right about here. And then I'll pull it back, push it over the edge, bend that down, tuck it all under, and that's it. This plastic trim has covered the edge, so there's no sharp edges, and it just looks a little uniform. So I'll go ahead, finish the rest of it, and then we'll be done. Here's the complete project right there, finally done. The Vevor sign is upright. I said that I'm doing these things pretty quick now, about half an hour. I've done about 10. I got 30 to go. We're completely redoing our garden into raised beds, the flower portion and some of the vegetable. So we're looking forward to using these. I'm probably going to need two triaxle loads of soil to fill them all. I've got to redo the garden, redo the fence, a whole bunch of stuff. But anyway, it's January. I should have a lot of time to build these and get them done before we need them. They are, I think they're $137 plus tax, so they're about 160 bucks each. A one-time purchase. It was a big upfront investment for us, but we should have them for many, many years to come. And they look nice. They're just a gray color. We'll update you as we go. So thanks for watching. I hope this helps you assemble one, and we'll see you in the next video.